Coaching Corps uses the power of service in sports to improve health and educational outcomes for kids living in low-income communities. The fellowship taught me that data-driven decision-making just makes everything so much easier. So now, when we think that we have a good idea, a good approach to something, we try it and we use the data to pivot quickly when we learn what's working and what isn't working. And if you use data for your decision making, it makes the decisions that you're going to make much more transparent to everybody. So you get a group of people who have total buy-in to the decision because they know what the data is and they know what the data is telling me. I couldn't have done that before the fellowship.
Janice gained a lot in terms of being able to use data differently than before. I don't think that we would have been a national organization without the skill set by the CASE program.
Her authenticity, I mean, what Janet you see is what you get. She brought a tremendous amount of focus through her leadership, through these strategies, and helped us devise a plan that we could actually scale nationally, which is what we're trying to do right now.
I think that's the soul of Coaching Corps. It's about getting volunteers who are willing to go and figure out what do these kids need to have a safe space, to be themselves, to learn lessons, to be a team, and to be active.
Coaching Corps is an after-school program. It would be hard for me because my mom and dad work, so probably like one of my grandparents would have to pick me up.
There's 21 million kids in this country that are between the age of 6 and 17 that are living in low-income communities. And we know that if we could reach 5.5 million of them, we would have wiped out the disparity in opportunities for after-school sports for kids. Now, clearly we can't do that alone, but we can make a big dent in it. And while making a big dent in it, which would mean serving over, coaching over 130,000 kids a year, then over 10 years, we will have developed a set of best practices and policies and that other people can use, schools can use, and after-school programs can use to make sure that all kids get the benefit of after-school sports, regardless of where they live.
I think that the impact, the effect, has to do with the way that CASE chooses the fellows. It just doesn't randomly choose fellows. It chooses folk that it sees a glimmer in their eye. And it takes that glimmer and expands that glimmer into a vision, and then expands that vision into reality.
The fellowship taught me to be all about impact and results. In order to do that, I had to be using data. I had to be results and impact driven. I had to be willing to take a risk to say what we're doing right now isn't working as well as it could for kids. And I had to be willing to do something that nobody had done before and, test it, use data to pivot, to make it work. And I think that I learned all that from the fellowship.